I was halfway through my shift on base when my phone buzzed. Don't be late tonight. Mom has a surprise waiting for you. My husband had added a smiling emoji. It wasn't like him, which made me smile anyway. I spent the drive home imagining something ordinary. Maybe a welcome dinner after another stretch of long hours. Maybe a small birthday celebration I had forgotten. Our daughter had fallen asleep in her car seat. Before we reached the highway, her tiny hand wrapped around the stuffed rabbit she carried everywhere. For the first time in weeks, I let myself believe life was settling down. The front door was unlocked. I stepped inside with my daughter balanced on one hip. The living room was full. His parents, two aunts, his older brother, cousins, even neighbors I barely knew. Nobody spoke. Their faces carried the strange stiffness people wear when they've already decided what happened before hearing anyone involved. My husband stood beside the coffee table, a folder rested in front of him. He didn't smile. He opened it, pulled out several papers, and slapped them onto the table. She's not my child. For a second, I honestly thought it was a joke. I looked at the papers, a DNA report, my eyes moved back to him. What are you talking about? Before he answered, my mother-in-law pointed toward the front door. Get out of my house. Her voice was cold enough that our daughter startled awake and began crying. I remember rocking her automatically while trying to understand what was happening. I haven't even read whatever that is. You don't need to, my husband said. The results are clear. The room stayed silent. Not one person asked whether there might be another explanation. Not one person asked how the test had been performed. The verdict had already been announced. Military training teaches you strange things. People imagine it teaches you how to fight. Mostly, it teaches you how not to react when every instinct tells you to. I picked up the diaper bag, lifted my daughter, looked at my husband one last time. If you wanted the truth, I said quietly, you should have asked me before you invited an audience. Then I walked out. That night I slept in temporary lodging arranged through contacts on base. I barely slept at all. The next morning I reported for duty because responsibilities don't pause when your personal life collapses. My commanding officer noticed immediately. He didn't ask for details in front of anyone else. Later, in private, he simply asked whether my daughter and I were safe. That question mattered more than every accusation from the night before. Within 2 days I had spoken with an attorney. Not because I wanted revenge, because I wanted facts. The attorney asked one question no one in my husband's family had bothered asking. Who collected the DNA samples? I didn't know. Apparently neither did my husband. He had simply accepted a packet handed to him by someone claiming everything had been professionally handled. The attorney requested the complete laboratory documentation instead of the summary page. The difference was enormous. The accredited laboratory responded quickly after reviewing the request. The report my husband had relied upon contained a documented chain of custody failure. One sample had been mislabeled before testing. The laboratory itself had flagged the problem internally. Their official position was straightforward. The result could not be considered valid. A corrected review was initiated using properly documented procedures. Weeks later, the verified results arrived. Our daughter was his. The laboratory issued formal written confirmation explaining why the original report should never have been used to make any conclusion. My attorney advised me to keep every document, not because they would erase what happened, because they established exactly what had happened. My husband called over and over. Then he came to base housing. Security stopped him at the entrance until I agreed to meet outside. He looked exhausted. I made a terrible mistake. I believed he regretted it. I also remembered standing in that living room, holding our crying daughter while people stared at us like strangers. I didn't know the report was wrong, he said. I know, I thought, I interrupted gently. You thought the paper deserved more trust than your wife. He couldn't answer. There wasn't really an argument against it. His mother never apologized directly. One aunt mailed a short note saying she'd acted too quickly. Most relatives simply stopped mentioning the night altogether, as though silence could rewrite memory. It couldn't. Months later, the legal process surrounding our separation was calmer than anyone expected. People assumed the corrected DNA results would automatically repair everything. They misunderstood what had actually broken. The laboratory corrected the evidence. No document could restore the confidence that disappeared the moment my husband chose public humiliation instead of a private conversation. Trust isn't destroyed by being wrong. It's destroyed by deciding someone is guilty before giving them the chance to speak. I continued serving. Our daughter learned to run before she learned why her parents lived in different homes. When she laughed, none of the bitterness followed me into those moments. Children have a remarkable way of insisting that tomorrow still exists. Sometimes I wondered whether my husband and I could have survived if he had walked into our bedroom with those papers instead of filling the living room with relatives. I never found an answer. Some questions stop mattering because life keeps moving. The last time I saw that house, someone else was carrying boxes through the front door. I didn't slow the car. My daughter was singing softly in the back seat. I rolled down the window, let the summer air fill the car, and kept driving. Not because I had won, because I finally understood that dignity isn't proving everyone else wrong. Sometimes it's refusing to let the worst night of your life become the rest of it.